to talk about global warming. This July the 8th, 2015, the markets are going to really open with a lot of chaos overnight. Asia collectively was off almost 15%. China has stopped trading. I think I read two different articles, at least 40% of the stocks. Corrections 20 to 30% underway, with more expected. Europe higher. All three major markets over there. The United States at some point was off some 16, 17, 18 points. So we're going to have pretty chaotic situations. The volatility should be up. If you're right, got a shot at making some pretty good money. If you're wrong, keep your stops tight, normal places, and might get stopped out, might get tweaked a couple of times, but with the great volatility that we have to work with today, should be okay come the end of the day. Okay, today, big thing for the financials is the 10-year auction. If we have a normal auction sequence, we'd expect the 10-year to be a little soft. So here's yesterday's price, 7.5 for the 3-year. It was a good auction, but that didn't help the market late. You can see that it closed down. So looking at this market right now, we can see that we got buyers 24 to 28. We definitely have a seller 16 to 20. And right now we're trading at 8. So we've got a W low at 1.5. We've got an X low at 2.5. We're currently trading 7.5. So 1 to 5 will be buy 1. And buy 2 will be 25 to 29. On the sell side, 12 to 16 is the first little band of resistance, so 11 to 15 will be sell 1, and then 19 to 23 will be sell 2. Okay, today's news: crude inventories minus 600,000 barrels. Had to turn zero hedge off. So we're looking for minus 600,000 barrels of draw for crude, and then FOMC minutes at 2 p.m. where again they'll try to divine what the Fed is going to do. So this will probably be the biggest news announcement today. I think the direction of the E-mini will be primal, be what the market will be looking at over their shoulders starting out this morning. And then they can't break a market and move the paper. So we can sell today, we can come off, but the bottom can't fall out of the market, or they won't be able to sell the paper that they need to move. And given the chaos in the world, you'd have to expect that no matter what the auction results are, it'll probably be well bid. That it's stronger than normal given the chaos in Asia, given the potential chaos in Europe. Okay, the Greece said they would run out of cash come Wednesday. It's Wednesday. They have formally requested bailout funds. The European Central Bank has said no bailout funds without a deal. And you better make this deal by Sunday. Now, I don't put a lot of stock or faith in the fact that Sunday is the drop-dead date for these people. I mean, always subject to change. They're masters at kicking the can down the road. But if you're in Germany's, the EU's, the ECB's position, we need some resolution now. I think there'll probably be moments here between now and Sunday that Tsipras will be sorry that he called for a referendum, because the people said no more austerity, which, supposedly is going to give him some bargaining power with the EU. I don't think he gets much from that. So they want the money, they're going to have to sign the deal that the EU wants them to sign. Okay, we have all these single prints down here from 10 to 17. We are trying to notch lower. We have had selling starting in T period right up here. 17 to 21 will be buy one. That's just right where support is. And then 5 to 9 will be buy two. We're going to open it up on the downside like we have to do in this contract. The knob spread was gained again overnight. We have this little break at 54.01, 54.02 to as high as 54.10. We're at 28 right now, so 54.03.07 sell 1, 15 to 19 sell 2. And I think the key to this morning will be the early movement of the knob spread. If it starts to come in, we can catch some pretty good selling. But the market will be subject to intraday, pretty big volatility, intraday volatility. And the direction of the E-mini, I think, is what we'll have to trade off of early, and right now it's trading 20.58. 75 once again is held up as pretty good resistance. Gold once again remains quiet. This 45 to 47 is where we liked it last night, and it did hold up. So where is resistance? Looking at the structure and charts right now, you can see that this 60 to 62 area, maybe 58. So 58 to 60 is sell 1. Let them get stops above the overnight session high, and then 64, 66 will be sell 2. Again, I don't see the bottom falling out of the market because of all the problems facing the EU and China. The selling once again yesterday in gold was attributed to margin calls in China. Don't know if that's true or not. Sometimes the rumors are, sometimes they're not. But a very, very large sell order came in pretty early in the session. And it wasn't sold on the opening. So selling on the opening usually is the gamut or the ploy used by the central banks just to really sock the market. So why was it not sold on the opening? Why was it sold a little bit later? You have a seller who is desperate for cash, and hope springs eternal. Maybe gold will rally off the opening and not sell. So they give it a few minutes to see, and if they're not getting a rally off the opening, then they come in and they place the order, and that lends more credence to somebody desperate for cash than a central bank doing the selling. It's the way that it works. It's the same thing that you would do if you're in the hole and you really needed every dollar you could get your hands on. You probably wouldn't come in and sell the opening. You'd wait and see what's happening, and then if you don't get a quick rally off the opening and the market might break, you're forced to sell, and then bang, you really hammer the market. Kind of a dumb way to feed your order in my opinion, because it's guaranteed to break the market, but that's the way that it was done. Okay, looking at the euro today, I think 111 is probably pretty good resistance, and 110 minus is probably pretty good support. Obviously, we got to get through 75 to get to 111, so sell 1 is going to be 75 plus or minus. The hopes of a deal will take this market higher. Deal announced, probably will bring in sellers. Buy 1 in the 110 area, buy 2 1975, 109.75. I think the market's on hold awaiting some news out of Greece. Right now, Merkel has said this deal is a lot worse than the deal you could have had last week. Sign on to get your money. The European Central Bank has said no emergency funds without a signed deal. So the screws are tightening on Cyprus, and my guess is that he probably wishes that They didn't have that referendum, and that he didn't get all that support to not do a deal with the EU. They are in desperate straits. They need the money. Right now, one of the stories that came out yesterday said that they were taking cashed Eurodollars kept in people's safety deposit boxes and putting an IOU in that safety deposit box so they could have cash to put in the ATMs. I mean, that's pretty scary stuff. And if they took your Eurodollars from your safety deposit box, what makes you think you're going to get them back anytime soon? So tough times. Okay, crude oil, we've got a seller above 52.75. Perhaps we have a buyer below 51.75. What's the magic in that? That's 100 ticks. So 51.50, 51.75 is buy one. 51 even, buy two, give or take a little bit. Give it a little bit of room down there. 52.75, 53 sell one. And 53.50, 53.75 sell two. Definitely looking at a big B. Looks like we got a seller into 53. Perhaps we have a buyer just below 51. And the significance of that is that crude trades $2 to $3 normally. And that looks like it might hold up. What's the E-mini going to do? That's a good question. I think the financial players will be, and all traders will be looking at that. Overnight activity says good chance that will be lower. Looking at this screen right here, you can kind of see that we're right in the middle of a trading range. We've got a seller above 75. We definitely have a buyer below 40. We're currently at 60, so we're a little bit closer to the high end. And one of the things that makes trading ranges tough is that we get these huge swings and we come down and we retest support or we retest resistance. We just run right up and then the market comes off of it quickly. So what does it take to break a market out of a trading range? It takes a change in the news. So what type of news can we look to? The FOMC minutes today. Raise interest rates sooner. Business conditions are such that we can raise interest rates sooner rather than later. Probably take the market down. Economic conditions have softened enough that we can't raise interest rates sooner. They're going to be later. Probably take the market up. Something out of the EU on Greece could change things. Something out of China might change things. So right now we've got a trading range market, and we've got a seller into 65, so 64, 66, sell one, and then 69, 71, sell two. The trade against 75, I mean that's where resistance is probably the better trade. Last night we wanted to sell 74s, 76s. That worked out pretty well. The buy side, we were a little too aggressive on the buy side. Down here you can see the rejecting prices below 50 and we're at 60. So I'm going to put a question mark at 55. Early in the session that may be what, 55, 56 it takes to get into the market. But this 50, 52 looks pretty good. And then 45, 47 for buy two. I think we have a trading range. We're trying to sell the 65 to 75 area. Be trying to buy the 50 to 40 area, and we'll see what happens. Take the signals. Keep the stops reasonably close because of the potential for big volatile swings off of news, rumors, or large traders entering the market. And given the extra volatility, we should do okay by the end of the day. Okay, it'll take a bit to get everything up and posted. I'm going to get busy on that right now. I'll be back with you as soon as possible.